Do you want more?
Always more.
Well, you can't have more pool play, so we'll just give you some bracket play instead.
And look at that, we have bracket play with some fresh sandwiches. Again, shouts out to the volunteer squads for making this possible. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, women's quarterfinals action with the women of the Flying Angels of Bern. Fabulous, coming up against Germany's Mainzelmädchen, who we saw go down to troubles in pool play earlier today.
So we can see too, we're gearing up for the play right now. Mainzelmädchen on offense, it looks like, to begin the point. And we can see how they fare on the quarterfinals today. As a miscommunication, they both kind of let it fly past them.
Tano adjusting, get back into position. There's a pick in the middle of the stack. In terms of who these teams had in their pools, for Fabulous, it was Bristol and Catch Up and East Block, and for Mainzelmädchen, who we saw earlier, they were in the 3-team group with themselves, Troubles and Terrible Monkeys.
It looks like Fab has an opportunity right now in the end zone to punch it in for an early break, and they do it.
Yeah, Hauser, for the former European champions, puts them 1-0 up. So a team with all sorts of pedigree to their name, including a former Euro star in Olivia Hauser.
As you can see right here after the turn, just super chilliness from Fab, just to hold the disc, you know, don't force anything, and then just make a really nice throw right here. Just a simple pitch and catch, yeah?
So, I'm just doing pool maths here. I think Mainzelmädchen must have finished second in their pool ahead of Terrible Monkeys, and Fabulous would have finished second in their pool with Bristol, Catch Up and East Block. On the pitch behind us, we're getting the winner of Pool B, which looks like being Box, up against the second place team in Pool A, which looks like Seagulls to me.
Mainzelmädchen with a deep toss to begin their play.
Wow.
And it was a score right there.
Wow, indeed. Rightly get some high fives from the other team, because that was a thing of beauty.
It really was. It's just cheeky, and that's exactly what you need as an offense. You just got broken right on the end zone. You're coming back out there. You need some kind of spark, some kind of, you know, make things kind of level again, and nothing more to put like a power point or an exclamation point, I should say, after that than a nice huck downfield.
So both teams demonstrating what they're all about early here.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
They're in the quarterfinals for a reason now. We will see what that reason is for soon.
Yeah, no crossovers. Top 2 in each pool go straight to quarterfinals. Bottom 2 go into, well, still quarterfinals, but bottom 8 rather than top 8 quarters. We'll try and keep an eye on what our open quarterfinal is going to be after this as well.
And I think, as you can see there, it went into the the field's of tents. We've been talking about it all day, and you guys think I'm kidding, but no, I mean, it's a legit field. It feels like a concert out here.
So just waiting for the disc to be brought back in.
We see here Fab bringing it to the brick.
Shuffles back, and the disc is checked in. Going to start with that swing. Fabulous coming out on the top of a strong pool. And that shows their quality, even though offensively they may be flattered to deceive a little bit early on. Underneath, just about jammed that into a tight window. And now it's going deep. It's tailing towards this near sideline. Wow, how was that stuck in the claw? And quickly released and scored by Mainzelmädchen, trying to strike while the iron's hot. They've broken to take the lead at 2-1.
And Mainzelmädchen, that's exactly what you need there. Exactly what you need there. Now you're back on serve, level play for breaks and everything along those lines. But now you take that confidence there and look at just this long toss. I felt like it was never coming down, but when it did, it was so precise. And then the one-hand snag.
Clutch.
And then the assist to score.
Absolutely clutch.
And as we saw before, too, with FAB breaking the first point, we should see if FAB can kind of replicate what Mainzelmädchen did earlier, in which they can have a nice kind of level O point to get that serve back to make it even again.
Yeah, these are both teams who have that deep game element to their arsenal. Absolutely they do. So whether they go that route or whether they just try and get a lot of players with disc time early to feel their way into this game. It's an interesting quandary.
It is.
Back on offense for Fabulous, looking deep. This one blades out of the hand. And the best way to prevent your opposition catching it is to catch it yourself. Did she just wave at one of her receivers downfield? Like, hello, I'm not throwing that. I like that.
You thought. But just like you said, Benji, too, Fab came out right on O to see if they can get that deep shot as well, because they are trying to do it, but right now it didn't look successful.
Mainzelmädchen can't connect on that one, but again, still not afraid to uncork it. Unafraid to uncork it? You know what I mean. It's game 7.
We're in it.
And I'm not complaining. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Here's another deep shot from Fab, and that one again just curls a little bit at the end. Didn't hold its line for long enough and falls agonizingly short.
I was about to say, what happened was it looked like it was a beautiful shot downfield, and then the wind just kind of took it and just died down immediately. She was so open.
That's just a focus drop, and it happens to all of us.
And she's looking up.
And the important thing is, if you forget about it, get back on defense.
Precisely.
On the sideline, goes for the swing into the center of the pitch. Now trying to stretch the Germans laterally. A little bit of a tip on that one. Still makes its way thanks to the layout grab.
What a snag.
Oh, I thought that up line could have gone. Didn't like it. Going to take this one instead, and it's just as good to tie us up at 2s.
As you can see right here, hopefully when this replay comes, I really thought she had that layout tee right there, but the concentration just to stick with the play and then just finish it off for the point. And now we're back on serve.
So currently tied at 2s here at Vienna Spring Break in this women's quarterfinal matchup between Mainzelmädchen of Germany and the Flying Angels of Bern from Switzerland. Got Box versus Seagulls on the pitch behind us. You know what I mean, slightly in the distance.
No, I completely know what you mean right there, yeah. I'd say the same thing, honestly. And then behind them are some nice houses right there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that after the tournament's finished, we get a nice little bit of an evening to really explore Vienna.
Me too.
Because at the moment, it means nothing to me. Been waiting for that one all day. Sorry, I apologise.
Mainzelmädchen with another throw, but it looks like just a miscommunication.
Yeah, receiver was not really looking for that at all, and in any case, it was underthrown. This is a deep put. I think it's going to have too much on it. You can see the wind just carried that out of the hand, and yeah, a little bit of a facepalm moment there, unfortunately.
Crazy thing about this, Benji, is every time I look, the disc is flying. I mean, you cannot miss a pull or a throw or anything like that. I mean, I love it that they're slinging it downfield.
they are not gun shy. I'll say that much.
Yeah. As we wait for the walk-up.
Gets that throw outfield in a tight window, and they uncork the arm once again. Defender misjudged it slightly, carried further than perhaps she was expecting. Mainzelmädchen seemed determined to huck their way to victory. Now they're playing it calm and chilly around the end zone, and they're making it count for a 3-2 lead.
As a guy that just loves gunslingers, this match, this is providing everything. It just, again, I cannot keep...
Oh yeah, classic American, loving a gunslinger. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, baby. No comment on that one. He's got me. But it just...
If the cowboy boot fits.
That's from Texas. We're from Virginia here. But anyways, you kind of just see, they're not shying away from anything. This is their identity from both teams, just kind of letting it go, letting it be free, and making some plays. Even then, it was an interesting kind of stack that they had in the beginning that FAB threw at them. It looked like it was kind of a forced middle right there, and it was tight. And I was surprised that they let it sling too, but it worked out in the end, and it just kept going.
A warm, pleasant Austrian evening now. I'm calling it an evening because we're into bracket play.
I would as well. I would as well.
This time it's FAB's turn to shoot. Again, they've had a little bit of a problem with a lot of these deep throws blading on them.
Yeah.
How do you try and balance that out?
That's a great question. I think it's more just kind of the overturn, and like we mentioned before earlier, it's just having some more spin on the rotations. Make sure you really utilize your wrist and kind of making that flick. Oh, wow. Getting a real breeze out here today.
Yeah, you can hear that being picked up very clearly on the field microphone coming up from the top of the pole cam.
I'm just blown away on my bench.
Then Mainzelmädchen making some tough grabs under pressure here. Not being phased or perturbed by the FAB defense. This one's going to be overthrown, well reeled in and well tracked. Trying to punch it in down the sideline. Going to be another break and a 4-2 lead for Mainzelmädchen.
And this is really nice for Mainzelmädchen too, coming out here early. It's almost similar to what they did beginning in the earlier game we had in the stream, just kind of taking the lead early, but now we can see if they can dominate this game for longer instead of kind of allowing their opponent back in the game. While FAB has a little bit more questions they need to figure out. This is why they take a nice time out, just to talk along themselves. You know, it's still not out of reach, of course. We still have plenty of time, but just to see kind of what's going on, maybe not as many deep throws or deep looks, and just to, like you said, don't, I guess, utilize the wind as much as possible too.
Yeah, a couple of breaks down. It's you know, there's still, as you mentioned, there's still plenty of time left in this contest, Corey, but never necessarily a position that you want to be in. Is your sandwich a vegan sandwich? It is good.
Had the mic off. Yes, it is. Very good.
Excellent. Well, if that's not enough for you, we've got some tasty ultimate on display either way. And I know, that was a cheesy line.
That was cheesy too, considering we're eating grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, we are, I know.
Yeah?
Well, sort of.
Well, mine's, yeah, got me there.
What do you make vegan cheese out of?
That's a great question. Most people use cashew milk, almond milk. Honestly, I guess whatever you can find now. Get so creative with it.
I've learned something today.
And here we go, Mainzelmädchen. Getting a pull, and it looks like it's just going to go right out of bounds.
It is indeed. And not a surprise to see the Swiss bringing it in from the brick mark.
Yeah?
Oh, well. Yeah, I thought that for a moment, I thought that they weren't, and then I realised I was looking at the wrong player. It's indeed where they bring the disc in. Sun coming nicely from behind the camera. casting those shadows a little bit longer and lower across the field. The sun draws away. Centering pass with the lefty. Past the first player, it doesn't quite reach the second.
Yeah.
Nice idea, but just didn't quite get the reward that they were looking for.
And Mainzelmädchen looking for another break. And another shot.
This is going to fade towards the far side. Receiver read it expertly. Clearly someone's been spending time in the German libraries. Still count must be rising a little bit though. Just not shy of options, just tries to blade it into the end zone. And it worked!
Huh? She came out with that?
And it felt like it shouldn't have worked. But you take those all day.
And Benji, correct me if I'm wrong too, but from my angle, I didn't think that was going to be completed at all. I thought it was going to be a D.
No, neither did I, but it just about managed to sneak its way around the exasperated defender.
And as you can see here from the celebrations, Mainzelmädchen all smiles right now.
Yeah, why not? Maybe you could say that they rode their luck a little bit there, but you know, sometimes rather than take the stall out, why not put it up, give your receiver a chance to make the play? And I think the defender got a tip on it, but if you don't catch your Ds, that's what can happen.
Exactly. And now here we see FAB in an interesting predicament as well too, just to see what can they respond with, how can they respond, what can their offense do. It's getting to that point where it's kind of a little panicky as the pull goes out of bounds.
Yeah, not far out of bounds, but it doesn't matter how far out of bounds it lands. It's a brick either way, or at least the opportunity to brick it.
So say it's a game of inches, or I guess in Europe, meters? Maybe?
Centimeters, yeah.
Oh, with a drastic turn on that one. Mainzelmädchen with good field position.
Yeah, the Fabulous, a little bit rattled here. Striding over towards the disc. Gonna shoot deep. There are receivers there. Made the catch, but I think she knew that the defenders had done enough to make sure that there was no way that was being called in bounds. Got there nice and early.
It was a great effort too. You could see the toe tap. It was just a little bit out of her reach.
Yeah, ambitious throw really. The defenders are already in that space. Probably not the option. Nice little leading pass to the handler running through. Bit of confusion. Cut it clears out. Oh, you can see the wind took that at the worst possible moment. And it took all of the spin out of it.
It really did. It was interesting to see how it just kind of plopped down.
And often it's so hard to get that spin you need on those really short-range throws. This time they've got both sides to attack. Goes one way, then to the other. And with the defender a little bit turned away, just able to curl that around into the receiver's path. They're now 4 points to the good. 6-2 they lead.
And that was a really delicious around throw too, kind of, and also great work from the reset dump too, because you can see just kind of the fake to the left side to the force and then cut back over to the furthest cone, as we see here now.
The wonders of replay.
Brought to you by Alti TV, baby.
And it's good because it's a really convincing break side cut, and it draws the defender over there. And as soon as the hips are turned and the weight shifted, uses that opportunity to plant and go, bird open side and grab the score. It's all about getting those hips flipped.
It is. And as we can see too, Mainzelmädchen up 6-2. With just about 20 minutes past.
So it's been a good run this for Mainzelmädchen.
And it's a shot downfield again.
Too much, I think.
Just a little too much mustard on that one, yeah.
And it just feels like those shots haven't been connecting for for the Swiss, but they really have this game for the Germans. And you just have to tell yourself that on the one hand you want to alter what you're doing a little bit, but on the other hand, you know, trust in your ability. Nice little blade over the top. Yeah. Now a lead pass goes. It doesn't like that continuation cut up line into the centre. Not the intended target, but a nice, sharp, alert receiver means that they retain possession. High stall. All this flow comes out throaty. It's not what I meant to say, but it worked. And there's no continuation. So FAB will get the disc back on their own end zone. Getting play initiated now into the centre of the park. A bit more fluidity to their rhythm now. That's a beautifully weighted shot. Has to be gobbled in. Done so with just that casual nature. And that should be a big energizer for Flying Angels.
And that's part of their specialty too, just kind of having, and we've seen all game, just these deep throws, and they finally connect on one. Maybe that can reinvigorize this offense and this defense and this team, just to see if they can get a nice break to kind of even the score a little bit.
So it was really important that they held firm in the red zone there, not let their German opponents get out of sight. Reeling them back in a little bit with the break there. With the, with the hold there, excuse me. (6-3) the current score. Just seeing that put again, just kind of drops the weight ever so slightly, eases the throw out. Sometimes you see these deep throws and they're really wrenched, but it's a lovely, comfortable throwing motion.
It really is. She took her time to kind of wind that one up, make sure it floated really well for the cutter to catch that for the score.
It's going to land and just about stay in bounds. Once I mentioned, haven't come out on offense for a while, but they have been playing a lot of these players both ways. This one's high, that should be snaffled away by the Swiss defense, and indeed it is. Underneath, just a drop. Goes straight, had those arms outreached, and he just bursts through them. Not the first time we've seen that happen for a Bern player today. Getting one of the water containers on the sideline topped up by our wonderful volunteers.
Hydration is key.
Making sure they're keeping our hydration station stocked up. Oh! Wow, bid is just split second too late. And with the thrower, there's no force, the opportunity arises to ping it deep. And that time, drew a crowd of receivers underneath it at the back of the end zone. But in the end, none of them was able to get there before it sailed out of bounds.
You see right there, that was a nice attempt for the bid. It was just a little bit too far, but just a little bit too late. But you love to see that. Just players throwing their bodies out. It's amazing. And right now, FAB has a good opportunity to kind of capitalize on this break as well.
They're getting it around the pitch now. Disc central towards this near side. Thinks about the deep. Second, maybe third attempt. Players still free on the sideline. Can hear the vocal calls to swing it, but instead they've still got that space on the sideline and they're exploiting it expertly. Back into the center of the pitch.
Oh!
Continuation around, not quite, and the timeout called.
She just came out of nowhere for that snag too.
Gets a nice little hug for her troubles as well. This game been played with brilliant spirit by both sides.
Yeah. As a fan of the sport, it's just been a nice game to watch for sportsmanship.
Yeah, let's go sports.
So I guess, Benji, as the FAB team, what do you expect them to say during this timeout? What kind of strategies do you expect them to implement?
It just feels like a little bit of, like a lack of sharpness, maybe. Like, because we've seen their quality out points in this game, and they're just not getting it on with the regularity that they need. And it's saying, okay, look, we're, you know, it's a warm day. This is our 4th game of the day. We're tired. Yeah, of course we're tired. But we've got quite a large squad. They're going to be tired as well. You know, keep at it. Keep, you know, put that 100% intensity in there. Because if you do, you can come back and win this game. The post-game, you know, the traditional evening party pints will taste so much sweeter.
Yes. And I guess as Mainzelmädchen, what would you recommend for them to do as well in this position?
More of the same.
More of the same, yeah.
More of the same. Like, you may say that it's been a little bit streaky at times, but if it seems to be clicking, and believe me, does it seem to be clicking right now?
Yes.
I don't see why you don't keep doing it.
Understandably so.
Just be aware that, you know, if it stops working, you need to have a backup plan. You can't stick with it indefinitely.
Precisely, and that's brilliant expertise too, just to kind of offer what both sides are thinking during this timeout and see if they can implement this to make it so that way they have a more positive experience going forward. As we see Mainzelmädchen getting ready to set up, getting ready to take the disc in.
Tapped in.
And come out in the horizontal stack too.
Getting that underneath towards the far sideline. Now trying to squeeze it into that handler space. They find the upline cut well. That I thought might be a bit behind, but they're making it stick. Surely this has got to go. It does go, and it's just too far out in front. That time it would have needed a bit more of that outside in edge to curl it back into the receiver's path. I don't think we've ever seen anyone score on the same possession they've taken a timeout. Today, I mean. Obviously,
yeah.
We've seen it historically.
As FAB just gets ready to...
High release over the intended target. Going to give Mainzelmädchen another short field. Chance to restore a 4-point lead at 7-3.
And like Mainzelmädchen's taking a little bit more time, too, to kind of develop their set.
Thinks about that cutter streaking towards this near side. Doesn't like it, still count rising. Swings into the center. Goes back against the flow of traffic and just cuts through everyone into the turf.
As you can see, two players just kind of tired. Legs are exhausted, minds are exhausting, but this is what drives those points. This is what gets that break. We can see FAB kind of take advantage maybe of that.
It's the ability to try and cut through that fatigue. Is it still alive?
Oh!
Boy, is it still alive.
What a nice double chance right there, too.
Hey,
stick with the play.
You're being rewarded there for being intrepid and not giving up on what you could easily have said was a lost cause. Now they're working towards the end zone. This throw's going to float. Can it be red? It is indeed. That's a break for FAB. They're only down 2 now. It's 6-4 they trail. Gesundheit.
Danke. And that's just what they needed to after this long point, just to kind of get everything going. So you can see here some players getting some much needed rest after that one.
See, there's a tournament photographer on the far sidelines ready to do some happy snapping. Mike's investigating one of the sandwiches, dipping it in ketchup, which is wrong. But he's Australian, so what can you do? FAB players on the sideline, encouraging their teammates to continue working hard. Slightly, yeah, a bit of an ugly throw, but it worked.
As we see too, Mainzelmädchen going back to the vertical stack from that horizontal stack last point as well.
A wise ultimate mind once said that the best kind of throw was a catched throw. Obviously they meant caught, something gets lost in the translation, but you know what they mean. Doesn't necessarily matter if it's pretty, if as long as it's effective. And that one looked for a minute like it might have been both, but it hits the turf. No call. FAB bring it back in play.
I was actually surprised by the no call.
Another focus drop for FAB.
Mainzelmädchen picking up the disc, clearing the sideline. We know she likes to shoot.
Low, and it sticks. A little bit of a daisy cutter, but stayed up, never touched that turf. Trying to play sticky coverage on that dump, but they get it off nicely. Now blading it downfield. Ambitious, not rewarded for it. Not on this occasion anyway.
Yes. So see, it turns out to be another grind point between these two. But that's what you can expect from the quarterfinals.
Yeah, this is the thing. This last game of the day. You know, you've played 3.5 games already by this point. It's only natural that only natural that you don't have the energy reserves that you did at the start.
And a fruitful turn for Mainzelmädchen to get closer to the end zone right there.
Playing a little bit of field position.
And there's the catch up on the break. A little inside joke in the booth. It's
all right, Mike fixed it. Mainzelmädchen bringing it in play. Again, defender right there, but hands like glue. Oh. And then zipping it in there for the goal. 3-point lead restored at 7-4.
And I've been mentioning it all day too. As you can tell with this wind picking up, just the snap on that throw for the assist was just amazing. That's exactly what I'm talking about when you need to flick the wrist a little bit more to ensure that you have enough spin, enough kind of rotation to get there, because the wind can easily take that one if you just kind of floated there. But as you can see right here, she just puts enough rotation on it to get from point A to point B for the score.
So it's been a long but enjoyable day here at Vienna Spring Break. Come through pool play now in the women's quarterfinals with fabulous, the women's team of the Flying Angels of Bern. Storied Ultimate Club. Trying to add a Vienna Spring Break title to their crown. Add that to their trophy cabinet. But they're up against it here against Germany's Mainzelmädchen, themselves no stranger to silverware on the European stage. Going deep over the top and well defended. Just outside of it, slightly behind the camera.
And it looks just a little bit out of reach right there.
Yeah, maybe got the briefest of fingertips on it, but that's not quite enough. Tipping the throw down the sideline, and that is as cool as you like. One pass conversion, 7-5. Now Mainzelmädchen will get the disc with the opportunity to take us into halftime.
Precisely. Just a smooth up line right there just to capitalize on that point, make the O-line feel good about that, and then put it back in the hands of the D-line so that way they can get a break.
I've gone back into leg stretching mode. Full of like nervous energy, you know? It's exciting.
We were just talking with Mike. Apparently one of the players has Wonder Woman socks. So number one, great looking socks right there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Hashtag girl boss or something. There we are, getting a shot of them on the booth. Strong sock game. Appreciated.
So here now FAB with the pull.
Mainzelmädchen already across half field here with half time in their sights.
And it looks like Mainzelmädchen putting out a strong line too, just so that way they can get to the halftime point up a considerable amount.
Not allow their opposition to close that gap. It's a slightly throaty throw into the centre and the adjustment. Can't make the catch. Didn't quite have the confidence with that throw. Now going downfield. Oh my word, they've uncorked it. But there's too much underneath it, and it'll sail out the back.
Now
opportunity missed.
Yeah, completely. Now Mainzelmädchen had the opportunity to kind of drive down the field again in this on an 8-5 streak just to go to half. But if it was that easy, everybody would do it, correct?
Yeah, why don't they?
Yeah.
Maybe because it's actually not that easy. High release backhand down that far sideline, off the first receiver's hands. Nearly bounced its way into the second, but it wasn't to be. And then snakes it away. Outrageous stuff. And the instant timeout call just to calm things down. Ridiculous.
And that's what you call ultimate hustle right there. After she threw that turn, you could see she instantly sprinted up the field to get that D. And as you can see, hard work pays off. Now they have an opportunity to go up at half and then also have it at a nice halfway field position there too.
Yeah, but rather than rush it, especially because you're the furthest player deep, and you know the other players were still adjusting to having to play defense, so taking that opportunity actually to say we'll take the timeout here, give ourselves the chance to set up and punch this in to take half.
Precisely.
Still one more game after the conclusion of this one. It will be a men's quarter-final coming to you from the Open Division, and as soon as we find out what that is, we will of course let you know, but you can watch it live and on demand for free here on ulti.tv's YouTube channel. And we will continue to keep our vast archive of games up and available for you to watch at your leisure and at your pleasure. And if you want to help encourage and allow us to continue to do that, then I highly recommend checking out our Patreon. And if you can, we would hugely appreciate it if you could chuck in as little as a couple of euros a month to allow us to keep doing this, because if everyone who was able to could just chip a little bit in, then we could continue to bring you more Ultimate than ever before, which I think is something that we all want to see, because if I know Ultimate players, I can't really get enough of it. And I'd like to think, after over a decade in the sport, I think I know Ultimate players.
Yeah.
Because they're clearly all one homogenous entity and not all thousands of individual people with their own feelings and ideas. Team setting up off the timeout. Checked in. Not seeing an underneath option, going deep. Over the receiver's head. Turnout strikes again.
FAB just kind of pushing it down the field right now too. Just looking for that break.
Into the center. Gets it off under tight coverage. Really good reception. 3 receivers take off deep. Unwinds, uncorks the bomb. One of them surely makes the catch. 7-6.
For the break.
Not half yet. Yes, I'd wonder if this is a... There is a call. Just trying to work out what the stoppage is for and what the resolution will be when on the resumption of play. Goal is signalled, goal stands, it is indeed. FAB 6, Mainzelmädchen 7, so the Germans are going to get another crack at taking this into half. And for the Swiss, another break here would take us into a Galaxy point scenario.
And FAB just getting back into the game. As we saw before the earlier game, Mainzelmädchen, if you can't close them out early, they will somewhat let you back in the game too. And FAB is just taking advantage of this, kind of finding their flow within the game, having some chances, taking some shots. Some shots are connecting right now. And it resulted in a break.
Just it never quite got to the depths of what that stoppage was about. Hearing it was a pit call that was must have been retracted, or at least decided that it had no effect, as the disc is put back into play from the pool. Another opportunity then perhaps to send this game to half-time, or can the Swiss put another punch out? Not literally, obviously. Non-contact sport and all that. High stall, tried to get it over the mark, and just a cheeky grin on the face.
She used the full
snap
frame.
It to the turf.
Fully extended right there for that block. And those are the type of plays you need right there, Benji, so that way you can exemplify the next break. Because if you can get 2 in a row, then it's Galaxy point.
You're putting a little bit of pressure on all of a sudden. Going down the sideline, all this might float a little bit. Receiver makes the grab over a ton of traffic. We've got it, Corey. It's Galaxy point.
That was just a nice bucket right there. The trust and belief to throw that and catch it. Oh my goodness, Galaxy point.
Keeping it exciting.
It is, and it's almost like the box game we had earlier at first half, where they came back from 4-7 and rattled off 3 straight breaks to end the half. We could have something similar right now.
Good indeed. Stranger things have happened.
Just to look at that. Oh, wow. Beautiful high point by both.
Really trying to get it at the very top of their grab. Pool's just about going to tail off out of that far sideline. So Galaxy point will begin with Mainzelmädchen taking it in from the brick mark. Of course, this will take us into half-time. One of these sides will have a 1-point lead. Who will it be? Mainzelmädchen had their opportunities, but they haven't been able to close it out so far.
And that's got to be in the back of their mind too, just knowing that they could have ended the half about 3 points ago, 2 points ago, and continue to play with FAB still in the game. But even then,
a brilliant cut, ran through the poach. Picture perfect deep put, waited just on the edge of the end zone. Could maybe have gone for the little milk in, but it doesn't matter because they recover, get in position, continuation. Mainzelmädchen will take half, 8-7. What a brilliant half of ultimate. Cannot really ask for much more than that.
You really can't, honestly. 2 breaks and then just the hold point right there to get an 8-7 half. Mainzelmädchen just to kind of get the retrieve, kind of get the motivation and the focus just to end the point on a good term, just to be like, we've had the shot multiple times, let's end it now.
We're going to take a little bit of a break here during half-time while the teams do the same. Give you a couple of quick messages, but don't go anywhere because the second half of this women's quarter-final matchup will be right back after the break. Your half-time.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and fund our work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back to Vienna Spring Break. Ulti.tv's coverage live for free on YouTube all weekend, thanks to the generous donations of our Patreon subscribers. Bringing you action from a women's quarter-final action now. This is our 7th game of 8 today, so you know we're working hard to bring you as much Ultimate as we can. And at half-time, Germany's Mainzelmädchen carry a narrow 8-7 lead over the Flying Angels of Bern, Switzerland. And it's going to be Mainzelmädchen pulling to FAB to begin this second half. On serve. Brilliant pull. Goes deep down the centre of the pitch. And we're back underway. Games to 15 or 70 minutes plus cap. Fakes the backhand, goes round to the open side instead, a little bit low, but well snatched in. Backhand into the centre, caught at the second attempt. Nice focus. Now going up line. No real continuation, the timing's a little bit off there. It's a little spoke in the wheel perhaps. Now trying to power their way up line into a good position. Expressive fake, trying to clear players out of that space. Going for it at the second attempt. This is going to sail towards the back of the end zone. And there's no one there to make the catch.
Just a little too blady on that throw. Didn't have enough air to make a play on it.
Yeah, we've got one more game to come at you after this. An open quarter-final matchup. As soon as we know what that is, we will let you know. Disc brought back in from the front of the end zone. Oh! Instant miscommunication. Cutter went one way, and the disc went the other.
It's a, dare I say, fabulous opportunity for FAB to punch this in.
I'm going to allow this.
Thank you.
Coming underneath, and you can see it just sank a little bit there, and ended up hitting the receiver in the shins. That might leave a little bit of a bruise. Deep downfield, off the receiver's fingertips. But it's going to have a little bit of a fortuitous roll. I think there might have been a pick called, but retracted, so turnover should stand here. Seeing the hand signals on the field. Not that, unfortunately, Woofter has not put in Italian-style pinched fingers into the into the rulebook yet, and more's the pity. We'll get there eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Ever since I went to Sardinia, that's rocketed to the top of my most used emojis, to the point where it's literally autofills in my touch bar now. It's brilliant.
That's what I say you used it in the group chat earlier yesterday.
Oh, I use it all the time. It's genuinely ridiculous. Nice floaty throw there. Comes down over a pack of traffic to make the catch. And now they're trying to really get that bait in the offense. Nice fake there. You can see it got my voice going a little bit. Floats up, and defender, I think, definitely got that one first. Players on the pitch seem to agree. Just near the end zone. They've been really focused on that front cone. And maybe a few times they would have been better off working back towards the centre of the field. Nice break throw there. Thought about the deep look. Doesn't take it, instead goes underneath. Another one. There's not really a window there. And what narrow window there was shut emphatically.
There's points for anybody's to grab right now too, Benji. Just if we can have, let's see what they have there. Oh, close.
I was about to say that could be the grab, but just create that little letterbox and posted it right through.
I haven't heard that one before. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, it's not the ideal plan.
And the poach was close, but not there.
Yeah, they've generally done a good job at really, attacking those poaches, running through them. Nice centering pass there. Underneath pass opens up in the middle of the field, just the wise option, and takes it. Reset. The spacing's a little bit off there. Trying to get it towards this open side. That's what they find. Now with the up line, I think it's going to be a little bit overthrown. And I think maybe telegraphed that too much because the defender was right there waiting to smack it to the turf.
And wisely, another timeout is called. Again, another grind point from this game.
We've had a few of those, not necessarily this game, but over the course of the day, to be honest. And these points are usually a big decider in the results of these contests.
They really are, and even just the ones we've had in this game too have been determining the differences. It's only a 1-point game, and we've had maybe 3 grind points this game so far. So, yeah, like you said, these timeouts are very vital.
And this game is very much still too close to call for my book.
Me too. Honestly, I mean, Benji, where are we at? Just about the 51-minute mark, still about 19 minutes. Way too close, I think.
Could go either way, and you know, if you ask me where I'm going to put my money, I'd say I'm not allowed, and I'm not I'm not allowed, and B, I'm not a gambling man, so I won't. But I think it'll be close either way.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you know, the fact that we're, as you say, over 15 minutes in, and there's only 1 point in between them, kind of bears that out.
It does. As we see right here, Mainzelmädchen trying to get the nice break, give a little bit of a cushion, not too big of a cushion, but a nice cushion to...
A little bit of breathing space.
Exactly.
As opposed to having FAB right down their necks. Just going to be checked back in here. What can Fabulous do? There's going to be an up line cut. Oh, floats a little bit, jumps too early, but just able to kind of pull out of it and readjust. Again, just you can see they're just trying to cool things down a little bit, play nice, solid, fundamental ultimate, if you will. Just, you know, work those unders hard, use the up lines, but that one floats. Mainzelmädchen take the opportunity. Receiver's gone deep, and they've put it as well. And it's well caught. I thought maybe the defender had suckered them into getting too close, but just enough space there to make that catch. And they've gained a huge lot of yards in doing so. Underneath, awkward, but it works. Now towards the break side, past the eyes of the defender. Still not too far out. They've got a reset available. Good coverage though. Still getting higher. And there's a player right open at the front of the zone. And it's a Mainzelmädchen break. Their 2-point advantage restored now at 9-7.
And even then, beautiful play by both teams to kind of work it out, trying to get down the field, giving it their all that point. But Mainzelmädchen that point, I think, in particular this last drive, had to make some difficult catches. They just had to keep focusing in. They had to zero on, make sure that they had the disc first before anything else, made a nice bomb down the field, and then also a nice one-hand snag just to make sure that they can get that end zone point. And now we get to see how FAB will react.
Yeah, a couple of points down now. So the one thing they can't really afford to do is to let Mainzelmädchen run away from them. They need to keep them within their sights. Be that, you know, annoying object in the mirror that is closer than it appears.
Yes. And they've done it before, even in this game. FAB was down a considerable amount.
And they take it all the way back to Galaxy Point.
Precisely.
Just jog back to the brick mark. Wow! Oh, show me the disc. What a hand block with authority. Bang!
Talk about coming right back into the commentating box, huh?
Yeah, and you got there before I did. It's youth over experience, that.
I'm retired, folks.
Me too. I was just never good beforehand. Throw blades deep, but it's well read. Got to credit the receivers for tracking these throws well all day for Mainzelmädchen. On a high stall, high release blade with the backhand. You can see that came out slightly weirdly, and yeah, obviously not what the not the intention with that throw, but from a good position, can't capitalise. Disc turns over, back into Swiss possession.
FAB really pinned back in their own end zone right here.
Yeah, Hauser with a hat slightly askew. Starts play underneath. With the swing, tight pressure comes through, knocks the disc to the ground. Right in the red zone, immediately from the turn. And not just because of the jersey colour. Wind picking up a little bit here, so you do need to see crisp and sharp on those throws. Trying to get double coverage at the front of the end zone. And she peels out of it. Gets short. Trying to occupy those defenders. Beautiful around break into space in the end zone as well. Mainzelmädchen, they are pulling away a little bit because it's now 10-7. FAB did so well to close that gap, and the Germans have just opened it right back up again.
Now it's just a nice buttery throw to the space as well too. Kind of instructing the cutter, hey, get out of that space. As you can see, her teammate gets out of that space, and then the next person in the rotation just goes. So as you see right here, pumps them out, and then the next person goes, and just a nice buttery around to the front of the cone.
The classic buttery biscuit backhand.
Triple Bs, yeah?
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down if you're down.
I'm down.
We're down. The sun's beginning to dip a little bit behind us. A little bit of cloud cover coming in. It's just getting a little bit of a nip in the air, perhaps.
A little chilly, yeah.
We'll see if the Swiss have some chilly offense here as that lands just, and I mean just, out of bounds. Disc is brought back in. Starting it underneath. They have shown that they can do this at regular intervals during this game, but often when they get towards the end zone, they get a little bit stuck. Maybe get a little bit clean with a shot, but that time executed it to perfection, Corey.
Exactly, that's all you need to right there. Just something simple right up the line, get you a little bit more of a confidence boost, a little bit more motivated to go into the defense right now.
And well, how do you stop a struggling? How do you correct a struggling red zone offense?
And that's a great question.
And the answer is you score before you get to the red zone. Don't need to worry about your struggles there if you just boost it from further back.
And that, my friend, is why we have a very nice philosophy. Just gun it as much as you can.
If it's working for you, go ahead. And at that point, oh, it was working. Let me tell you, it was working.
If you don't believe it, just look at the replay right here.
Yeah. Nicholas is going to put a jumper on. When Mike puts a jumper on, we know it's really cold. No one needs to see that, Mike. Come on now. We'll spare your eyes from it. So 10-8, still a couple of points. The Germans lead by about 10 minutes left in this contest. Our penultimate game of the day with an open quarter-final matchup to follow. This one absolutely ripped deep, and FAB were waiting for it. Sending a player deep from this near side, thinking about it, really thought about it, but decided better of it. I would have done it for the fans. Again, that's why they're out there and I'm not. Nice little offhand, backhand, put deep and on the money as well. Stashed that one in a Swiss bank account. Lovely throw, Only 1 point behind now, 10-9.
Oh, wow. And FAB again just climbs back for the break. Oh, that's magnificent. Just when you think they're out of it, just when you think it's kind of getting a little bit out of hand, Mainzelmädchen getting a little bit just too powerful, FAB says, no, we're going to come back. We're going to show what we're about, and only 1 point down.
I don't think it's unfair to say that they don't know when they're beaten.
I can agree with that one.
Because a couple of times they could have, you know, let heads drop and kind of really let Mainzelmädchen kind of pull their way out of sight, but they've kept it close, always within distance. Lovely offhand throw there, and then just again low release, just shows the underside to the wind a little bit, just to push it slightly downfield into space. Clearly an intent to stop the huck here from the FAB defense, and you understand why, because that deep game can be so potent. A little bit of handler movement, thought about the deep there, the force must have done just enough. Again, they're keeping it very flat. They really don't want those throws to go. A little deep down the sideline. Defender gets in the way, but they're out of position now, and that means they can swing into the center of the park. They're already in the red zone, beyond the attacking brick mark. Fakes the dump and the reset. Doesn't like that one. Got another player back there to help out. Towards the far sideline. This is looking good from Mainzelmädchen. Both sides have not necessarily been at their fluid best when the field has shrunk, and we're seeing it there. Just the window a little bit too close for comfort, and the Swiss said no.
And as you mentioned before, too, FAB just doesn't know when to give up. They don't know when to quit, and you can see it right there on that D. She came out of nowhere.
Worked it all the way the length of the field, and just on the very last pass, the defense gets in the way. Towards the near sideline. Fakes it down the line, now turns to center the disc. Someone's lost a hat there in the middle. Looks like that's being orphaned for a while. Ooh, this will pop up a little bit, but receiver created more than enough separation to just take their sweet, precious time for making the catch. Here's the deep put down the far sideline.
And close, almost.
Almost. Well, nearly is, you know, not quite.
Precisely.
I couldn't think of the phrase I wanted to say here. Like, it doesn't matter how far away it was, as long as it doesn't get in. This one in the center of the park, the poach was reading the thrower's eyes there and was all over that one. Really nice, intelligent play. Baited it almost. And now the roll curving up line, and we're tied at 10s.
What another break. The break train for FAB is just rolling right now, and now we're tied.
Choo-choo.
Neck and neck, and again, we still have 60, we're at the 63rd minute right now, about to go to the 64th, with 6 minutes left too. It's gonna come neck to neck.
Yeah, we did say that, well, however it goes, it'll be close all the way through, and so it is proving. Sounds like someone's blasting some Rihanna on the speakers.
Yeah, trying to get warmed up, maybe getting some background music. It looks like it's
Does it like MUC again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have mentioned popular Barbadian R&B singer, because of course they don't sponsor us, so won't give them the traffic, but I think everyone would have known, like, who else would it have been?
Just look at that. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful round flick.
In a beautiful setting, on a beautiful evening.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This frisbee lock's all right, you know?
Yeah? You see here, Mainzelmädchen trying to get back into the game, trying to right the ship. nice chilly O to get to halfway point.
Across the halfway line. And the defender again comes in, thinks about calling the foul, and then actually waves it away, retracts it. Turnover stands. FAB will have the disc with a chance to take the lead for the first time in a very long time. But that's not the way to do it.
Looked like it just went right through the grasp of the FAB defender.
Mainzelmädchen then. Ooh, almost a shovel towards the far sideline, but it worked. And then a beautiful leading pass in towards the end zone. Love to run onto one of those as a receiver. Mainzelmädchen do take the lead again. They get their noses back in front.
And that's just what they needed to for their confidence and also the scoreboard. I mean, just to have 3 points rattled straight by FAB, you know, morale's getting a little low. You're starting to question some things, but just to get back into the flow of things, just to kind of pass it along, stick to what you know, and then make a nice upline throw for the score to take the lead.
11-10 now, the score. Again, probably not going to go all the way to 15, but we won't get far off. And with two sides being so close in score, I think it shows you the quality of this game. Despite the elements, put on a real display for us. So the dying embers of this game, not too long till the cap comes on. Shooting deep, too deep. Blades into the turf and then rolls out of bounds. If you're Mainzelmädchen, I'm thinking, you know, you're just, you're not necessarily rushing to bring this back into play.
I'm with you on that one, Benji, and that might even influence kind of that FAB throw right there, just kind of realizing the time pressure, realizing the situation, and trying to make it even score. But delighted to say we've had an amazing game.
Hits the deck hard there, maybe just caught her feet in the turf, but she's all right to continue. It's no stoppage. Disc is still in play, trying to get another upline pass. This one works as well. How about another one? No, not on this time. The defense was too close, but the force comes around, cheats a little bit maybe to try and stop that throw going, and it opens up the space for the around. It's the continuation past the receiver, and it's FAB on hand. 2 minutes left, still just the 1 point difference. And FAB trying to strike quickly. Don't get that one right. It's overthrown, and the disc will return into German possession.
FAB really just feeling the pressure again with another downfield huck. That didn't have to happen that fast, honestly. And time's ticking. Got about a minute and a half left. And a turn!
Just off the hands. Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it happens. We had a galaxy point at this point. Maybe we could have a universe point as well this game. Not a galaxy point this game.
I know what you meant. Yeah, got you. That one's at the front of the end zone. Goal signaled. So it is 11 apiece. I think pretty much whichever way this slices now, it'll be 12-11 game to 13. The question is, who's going to get their noses in front going into the very death throes of this contest?
And after just two questionable downfield hucks, and you know how rare it is for me to say that, it's just having the confidence to get the Ds again, punch it in, and knot it all up. And like you said, game to 13, first to 2 wins.
Can you think about, do you think about the previous 22 points that you've played, or do you just try and get that big mental reset? Say, right, game to 2, who's up for it?
I think at this point too, I would prefer the game to 2. You definitely keep those points in mind so you don't forget all the lessons you've learned, all the mistakes you might have made, all the shots and everything that you've taken.
All the good things you've done as well.
Exactly. But with that, you just kind of a point to 2, give you everything you got on these 2 points, and then you can go home, enjoy a nice Saturday pint if you like, and know that you gave it all on the field.
Yeah, especially, you know, basically 4 full games now they'd have played. So there's going to be some lactic acid building up in those legs, let me tell you.
And not a nice pull from Fab right here. You see a nice halfway point for Mainzelmädchen.
The one advantage that it is on the sideline. They try and break it down the sideline, and it's over the receiver's hands.
You could say the wind might have had a turn in that. And it looks like some players are discussing.
There's the hooter. So as we suspected, it'll be 12-11 game to 13. Who's going to be in front? That is the question. FAB have not been in front for an awful long while, but they might be able to squeak it out at the death, going deep on the money. What a time to find the range. FAB take the lead. It'll be 12-11 game to 13 with FAB now in the box seat. Wow, what a game.
What a throw. Yeah, what a point, what a game. What a day.
God, I love Ultimate.
God, to look at this. I'm simply amazed. I mean, again, FAB has come back twice down. Hasn't taken the lead since the beginning of the game. And just stuck with it. Just kept grinding, kept hustling, kept trying to get their deep shots, sticking with their identity, and it's got them up 1. And if they get this point, it's game over.
That is game over if they can put this in. 12-11, game to 13. So Mainzelmädchen need to score here, or it's curtains. Their title hopes are done.
For Mainzelmädchen, it's just another heartbreak that we've seen today. Just kind of having that and just letting it slip through. But the game's not over yet, of course. They still have a potential, but
certainly it is not.
With the win helping FAB there, it's definitely going to be another hill to climb.
Can Mainzelmädchen dig deep? It's rising stall count. Nice high release find into this space, right on the sideline, but inbounds.
Nice toe tap right there.
Winds up the big. Force doing a very good job of coming across to stop that. Upline goes instead, thinks about the deep shot, but it's not quite there, and they're running out of room to put those now. Into the center, over the receiver's fingertips, but reeled in. Good focus downfield. Now they're on the end zone.
You could say that's a tournament-saving catch right there.
Reset goes. Just playing it in between them, a little bit of bouncing back and forth. 1-2, 1-2, give, go. Break towards the far sideline. We're going to Universe. Right. How about that composure with the opportunity, you know, Universe point on the line to just, you know, stay calm, bounce it back and forth and take us into sudden death.
It is immaculate to have that kind of composure there, especially when things look like they were getting a little bit shaky. You see a nice toe tap right in front of the camera to keep the drive alive, and then you also see a nice grab to keep the focus too, because had that been a drop, the way FAB is playing, I don't know if Mainzelmädchen would have got the disc back, and that could have been game right there. But as you see now, Mainzelmädchen just sticking to what they know as well, just putting their head down, hustling, and then also converting that point to make it Universe point. We've had a Galaxy and a Universe in the same game.
Yeah, it's just a hair's breadth between these two sides, and you have to really admire the tenacity that both sides have shown in this contest. It's been a hell of a game to watch, and our first sudden death contest of the weekend right here on OTTV.
In bracket play to add as well.
Saving it for the big moments. So for one of these teams, they'll have a semi-final berth tomorrow. For the other, you've got to play for 5th place. And while there's no shame in that, when you can taste the semi-finals, It's a slightly bitter pill to swallow.
And especially with the expectation of both teams, they want to play their highest amount of ultimate, and the way you do it is these points right here, these moments, grind them out, get the results, and continue playing. Your season, not season, but this tournament is on the line right now, and your growth too.
Got to leave it all out there. Don't leave anything up to chance. Underneath, it seems like they want to force FAB to grind it rather than end it in one devastating killer strike. Testing the patience and the maturity.
As you can see here, the teammates of FAB just tell them, take it easy, don't rush anything. Take the thirst that they give you.
It's calm and assured ultimate. Here's the deep shot. It's gonna go, it's gonna float, and it's gonna stick, but I think there's a pick. Thank you to the lovely sideline who signaled that nice and early. See, there's a reason that hand signals are good. And it's so that I don't look like a chump.
Exactly.
Also, other stuff. But that's the main thing.
Like you say with that play too, she's a little bit suspiciously open when you see the back. It's just like,
it's an annoyingly good turn of phrase, isn't it?
Yeah. As we see here in the 76-minute universe point, can't ask for any better than this.
Takes the higher release. Instead goes under towards the far sideline. Just again, pinkoing it around the backfield. Throw into space, comes right towards the sideline with that momentum. Again, just playing it underneath. Hammer to win is good! What a way to see in a semi-final berth. Commiserations to Mainzelmädchen, who battled bravely. But it is a fabulous victory for the women of the Flying Angels of Bern. With a 13-12 scoreline, have sealed a semi-final spot. What a game.
What a stylish way to end it right there, too. Off of the hammer to win. You have to have belief in yourself, belief in your teammates, and just the ability to go out there and practice for this.
We hadn't seen that. We hadn't seen the overheads all game, really.
No, not at all.
What a time to bring it out. Talk about catching your opponent unawares. And this will sting for Mainzelmädchen, but they played a brilliant game here against a really strong opponent. And for FAB, the number of times that they clawed themselves back out of what seemed like a very deep, dark hole, it's got to be commended. And here, once more, is that winning shot for you. Just a little bit of space. They don't see it coming. And, I mean, there's always going to be nerves catching a winning point like that, but good way to do it.
It really is. And I mean, I've been saying it all game, and I know I have, but all game, all day. But hats off to both of these teams. They put on brilliant performances, both of them. They've worked hard to get to this point, worked even harder on the field to make sure that they live up to their expectations. Again, Mainzelmädchen, don't take this by any means. You've worked super hard. Again, the season's just beginning. There's progress to be made, but you also can be very proud of what you've done in this tournament and also what you've been doing in this game. And then FAB, excellent way, like Benji said earlier, I should say, to kind of grind that point out. Make sure you came behind twice to claw your way back to get to the semifinals. Take pride in that as well, too.
And this is certainly a game to watch back and relive the ups and downs and backs and forths. We're going to cut it now because we need to get things ready for the Open quarterfinal coming up next, which we believe is MUC versus Costa Rica Grandes. But don't go anywhere because we will see you on the other side.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the machine. System shut down.